They back in the day, they would just go screaming.
A-base still bad. A-base had too much strength.
All
right.
Does that have any fire rating?
Open the public meeting.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, first we'll call the meeting to order.
I'll be, or yeah.
So this is the zoning board of appeals meeting for the village of Fayetteville. There's one application. For variance for setback for a proposed addition. I'm gonna pass out to the board a draft resolution.
Yep.
Go to the last two pages. Just by way of background. Yep. The second to last page is a copy of a survey map. That shows you what exists there today. And you'll see that there's a deck in the back of the property. So if you go to the next page, what you'll see is a sketch of what's proposed. The big black rectangle is the house. The deck's gonna come off, and the proposal is for a one-story addition to create a mudroom and allow for safe, secure access to and from the basement.
Right.
To this property. As you can see from the maps, the house as it currently exists and the deck as it currently exists are within a couple feet of the property,
Yeah.
1 point something.
Right.
So they are legally non-conforming. The proposed addition off the back of the house will be a little bit better. It'll be scrunched in a little bit more off the property line, as I recall.
It's set back about 10 inches, I think.
Yeah, so it doesn't make the situation any worse, and to some extent, I guess we could say it makes it a little bit better.
Right.
So that's kind of the background. The applicant via his contractors appeared before the planning board. The planning board issued a positive recommendation for the variance and referred the matter on to this board. So that's the purpose of tonight's meeting. And I suppose we can ask the contractor if he's got anything else to offer by way of explanation. So board member.
Might have been, hopefully on the contractor, really the main focus from this project was because of the access to the basement, which is unsafe. There's concrete stairs there. They have like I don't know if you have some of the pictures. Yeah. There's like a deck that you.
Pretty sad.
Right. And I stopped there the other day and the bottom of the stair filled with water. From all the rain. So I think it's more of a necessity than something they want to do. But yeah, if you guys have any questions for me, yeah, they're insane.
Those are
In
sad.
case of emergency, somebody could tumble down those stairs.
Waiting
Yeah.
for Dorothy in her shoes.
Yeah.
As a matter of protocol, the next appropriate thing to do would be to open the public hearing and see if there's anybody who would like to speak for or against
Motion to open the
the
meeting.
variance.
Motion to open up the public hearing.
Second. All those in favor? Aye. Okay.
Pretty simple. Thanks.
So just by way of formality, if anybody in the audience would like to speak, please identify yourself and you can speak either for or against the proposed variance. Seeing no hands, I presume there
No questions.
are no
No
questions
comments
or
were
no
received
comments.
in the office by mail or email, so for or against.
Okay, cool.
All right, do I hear a motion to close the public meeting?
So moved.
Second, so moved. All unanimous? Unanimous.
Yeah.
Great.
So if the board would go to page 2.
Do you have any questions?
Oh, yeah.
I was you do a good job for me, thanks.
I'm just a reminder, the procedure of the board needs to go through
No
those
problem.
5 questions.
Anybody have any questions or concerns before we go to the speaker?
Not a question, just a question, not a concern. The depth of this mudroom from outside to outside, we've got tiny drawings, so you can see what this. lineal foot.
I believe it's 8 feet. 8 feet.
Yeah, so.
8
I
feet
thought I
by.
noticed. You didn't have, oh, those drawings, I only.
Yeah,
have
but
that size.
addition to 8 feet.
Okay,
8 feet, and Jack, you want
Yeah,
to know
8 feet by.
by what?
I think I have the big print right here, let me go over it all. I believe it's 16. But I could be wrong.
Full width, right?
I could be wrong.
From end wall.
So I don't know if you noticed, there's a little like
It says
entry portion.
18.
Right.
On the
So-
permit, building permit.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yep,
18 by.
yep, 18.
So it goes to the door or it encompasses the outside door we're looking at in this photograph?
So
It
that's,
goes from here over?
so
or-
that door will now be just be removed, and that'll be the entry into the kitchen. And then the
So-
door,
It's contiguous from one wall of the building to the other.
yep, so those windows, those two windows are gonna stay, and there's actually like a covered porch on
Okay.
those two windows.
Okay.
I do have a full-size print, if you want me to, if you wanna see it.
No, basically your exterior door to the front to the mudroom is in line with the existing exterior.
Any other questions or concerns?
Yeah,
Alright.
well, you chose to make it 18 feet long. Okay, 8 feet wide, I get, you gotta have it 8 feet so you can. Get some we'll run on it, get in there, but why the?
So, cause they wanted to have
That's
another
pretty big.
si- they wanted to have like a side entry as well, and we had to accommodate the stairs. Because there's gonna be a new set of stairs that are going into the basement, so we needed to create that elevation so it was accurate. Back code.
In section, he needs that room, otherwise he doesn't have the run of the stairs.
Right, otherwise the floor would be too low and you'd hit your head out going down the stairs. That makes sense.
Well, you're gonna have to move that spigot, I might find.
Yeah, there's a lot we gotta move.
Water this. water. That's physically.
You can, you fill it up and get a little cooled off while you're working.
Yeah, there you go.
That staircase. Any other questions or concerns? All right, so question number 1. Will there be an undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby property? No.
None of the neighbors object to the answer is no, right?
Well, there was no comment.
There's no
received.
comments received at all. No. Can the applicant achieve the benefit by some method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than the area variance?
I would go. Not
no,
trying to
no.
No, I'd say no.
And it's, the house itself is so close to the.
Yeah.
property line. I don't think there's any
Existing improvements,
Yeah.
it's
There's not much you-
difficult to.
there's not much you could do. You already built a new deck, you still need a variance with where he's at, so. Is the area variance request substantial? I would
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
say yes. Everybody agree with that?
Yep.
I see Larry thinking over there, wasn't sure.
Yes, other than what's already existing, it's there, right? So it's not, if you look at it that way, it's not yes, but the actual.
My code.
Part is in this.
So I told quite a few it is. Will the variance have an adverse effect on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood or the district?
No,
No. Unanimous no's. Was the alleged difficulty self-created?
yes. So.
Yeah, technically,
Technically,
the
so.
answer's always
Yeah,
gonna be that. The property owner didn't have to buy that property and deal with these
Exactly.
issues. He could have looked for a different property, so to the extent he decided to pick this one, that's on him.
All right. So. So we want to make a resolution?
Before, I failed to mention that at the beginning of the draft I passed out, I noted that for secret purposes, this would be classified as a type 2 action under the regulations, and so this board is not required to make any further environmental investigation or findings.
No action.
I move that we go ahead and grant the variance.
Second.
All those in favor?
Wait, doesn't,
Well,
or
we're,
don't you have to read this part first
Well,
before we vote?
we could do that. So after having gone through the 5 criteria, this board needs to determine whether the benefit to the applicant outweighs or does not outweigh the detriment to the health, safety and welfare of the neighborhood. If it does not outweigh the detriment to the neighborhood, you would not grant the variance. If the benefit to the applicant does outweigh whatever adverse things happen in the neighborhood, you grant the variance. So,
And I said we could waive reading the whole thing.
yeah, it can be adopted into the record.
We can adopt the written part of the record, so all those in favor of approving the variance?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous.
Yeah. I don't know if you wanted to cover that section of the building code. For
That's
fire.
gonna be on you when you do the permit, because.
Yeah.
He's gonna comply with that for the permit, but he's got the variance, so
Just
now.
one of the board and applicants aware of the fact that while you've granted a variance to allow for the physical structure to be so within a certain distance of the property line, the state building code does have requirements for fire related issues that require special construction.
Yep.
Is it referencing that the exterior siding has to be fire rated?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No projections under 2 feet. So the wall, well. 0, but it has to be an hour fire rated.
Right.
so for tonight's
Just-
purposes, you've crossed the hurdle of the village code requirement. You still have to deal with Mike and the state code
Okay.
requirements.
And then it-
Don't come in trouble.
The siding, the trim and and
Correct.
siding, trim and roof.
Yep,
Do we have any minutes we have to approve?
So many of you, this has been granted and I'll send something as such, and now Mike will follow through with the building permit, and the two of you can have our conversations on that part.
So you don't need me anymore.
Nope.
Yeah.
Dismissed.
You can.
Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks.
So as far as minutes, I had sent them out probably a couple times over the past 6 months, so.
Yeah, I saw him. I didn't have any issues.
We have a copy of
This
it
week.
for what it's worth. At this point,
Okay.
if
Yeah.
this first time is passed, they probably are considered
We'll come up with something.
record, but I just want to make sure from
Maybe
December,
everything.
and here's a copy if anyone needs it. If anyone had any questions or concerns, we can for the record, say that you guys are,
So we don't need to vote on these?
if you want to make, for the record, say that you reviewed the last set. and
Yeah, we
we're
reviewed the
good.
last set. I don't, maybe everything's good. Every reviewed, everybody's good.
Yeah.
Any new business?
I don't have anything from you guys.
A motion to adjourn. Well, you're in a hurry tonight to get out of here, aren't you?
It's been a long day.
Julia, I
I
second.
did. It's been a very.
All those in favor?